Today on Media Layer Sandwich, we talk to Tony Miello. He does convention, he does comics, he's done freelance work for Marvel and DC. He used to do some sketch cards for them. He's done many things. He's even doing a catering service now. So we're going to talk about freelance and hard working and really doing the old school style drawings and even teaches some art. I love this interview. Check out what Tony Miello has to say. And no, I didn't change my shirt super fast. I just forgot to do the teaser after filming. But you got it now. Welcome to Media Layer Sandwich. With me is Will from
AllAboutWilliam.com.
I'm Scott in my alley, better known as Toaden from Toaden.com and YouTube.com/ToadenK. If you're listening to us on the podcast, remember there is a video version on YouTube. You hit subscribe and then hit that bell because, well, YouTube hates us and otherwise you might not know that, we came out. With new episodes. Came out with new episodes. There we go. And, of course, you can find all our previous episodes at MediaLiterSandwich.com. And with us today is someone who I followed maybe a little too closely some years.
I did have to call the cops at one time.
Yeah, but you didn't release a new Gapo in like 3 weeks at that point.
Yeah, well, that's all changed now.
We have, and I believe I'm saying your last name correct, Tony Miello.
Yes, very good. Where's the applause button? You got it right.
So, you're always working on a billion things. Let me try to go through the list here. You're comic book artist.
Yes.
Writer.
Yes.
Actor.
Yes.
Event organizer.
Yes.
Cook.
Yes.
What am I missing?
I don't know. I think that's everything right now. With the cook is going to be is catering also. So.
Wait, so you're not kidding? There's actually catering involved now.
Yes, now I'm going to be starting catering probably in spring. Yeah.
Oh, wow, the guy that does Gapo the Clown is serving food. This is as bad as when we're talking about the movie Rideshare. We had the director and main actor from a movie about a murder from Uber and Lyft, and we found out that everyone involved were Uber drivers.
Really?
And we found out he was an Uber driver.
I promise
Right.
my food will taste better than has better taste than Gapo. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so let's start off. Gapo is
a comic strip that I created back in 2004, and he is just a drunk, miserable, disgusting clown who hosts the top-rated kids show on television. And because he's on TV, the public loves him. But everybody who works with him knows what kind of a just horrible human being he is, and they all hate him.
So Krusty the Clown after hours on more of an R-rated Simpsons, and he's the main character.
Kind of. It's my kind of take on celebrity. How when celebrities are on they're on TV, everybody loves them. So that's kind of how it got started.
Okay.
The whole clown thing is just a coincidence because I honestly when I came up with the character, I always thought I'm like, it'd be funny if there was a kids TV show host that was just mean and nasty, and I never put the clown together with the Simpsons. And it's funny because I'm a huge Simpsons fan, but I didn't equate the two when I was developing the strip.
Okay. See, with me, I grew up with Bozo. Not even the local Detroit Bozo. I was watching the Chicago Bozo. And that's why I was like, I love Bozo the Clown. Of course, this is more like Krusty. Because I thought Krusty was just an imitation Bozo.
That's what Krusty is based on, Bozo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even did a whole episode on Krusty syndicating out or franchising out and having other people be him.
Right.
Which is the whole idea
That's what
behind
happened with Bozo, yeah.
For those that are not over the age of 30 or 40 or however old you have to be to know about Bozo the Clown now, that's what Bozo the Clown was.
I never got into Bozo. Luckily, I really don't like clowns. I think they're jerks. I don't like them. But you know what I did have? They had brought back Howdy Doody.
they do this?
This was when I was a kid. I remember that maybe it was reruns of the old. I don't know, but I just remember Howdy Doody being on TV, and I hated Howdy Doody. And my dad would tease me that I was scared of Howdy Doody, and he went so far. This is why I have such a twisted sense of humor. My father went so far as to find a little like plush Howdy Doody thing to put in my bed at night to scare me.
Hey, dude, the Howdy Doody thing is creepy looking.
It is a creepy looking thing, but I just didn't like. I don't like marionettes either. I'm just, I don't know. What's going on?
I'm looking for marionettes in here.
No. I mean, it's not like I'm scared of them. I'm not scared of them. I don't enjoy watching them. Okay. I don't find them entertaining. I don't find puppets, except for Sesame Street. I guess. Well, I like Muppets, but the Punch and Judy type puppet shows that they used to do at like kids' parties and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I never found that entertaining either. I remember as a kid going to a party and they would have they'd have the clown or they'd have the puppet show or whatever, and I hated it. It's like I'm gonna go over here and eat pizza. You guys, you watch your dopey puppets.
Okay, so you have some new stuff from Gapo. First time in 3 years?
First new Gapo material in 3 years.
I mean, I used to read Gapo when it was a webcomic.
Right.
And it was like twice a week, I want to say. Once a week, twice a week.
It started off once a week.
Okay.
Then it went to 3 times a week. Then it went to 2 times a week. Then it went back to once a week. Then my website got hacked, and I lost all the the archives.
Okay.
And the server wanted to charge me like almost $300 to recover everything. And
did you have backup somewhere?
I had backups. I have everything backed up, but just to recover the web pages and all that, and to bring the site back to life. So I was just like, so that I let the site go, and the the web strip stopped. But it's published by Caliber Comics, and we do we just nationally distributed Gapo Big Fat and Greasy earlier this year, and that sold pretty well. Next year we're going to re-release the Volume 2, which was the start of the color strips, and then hopefully by the end of next year I will have Volume 3 finished, which will also have the strips where the website ended, which was right in the middle of a storyline, and I'll finish those out. There'll be a bunch of new material in there, so that's when there'll be a lot of all new Gapo material coming out at the end of next year, in addition to what is already out, which is the Gapo the Clown Christmas special.
So the Christmas special is already out.
It's out, yes. We had an event on December 2nd, a Christmas party at a friend of mine's bar, the Silver Ballroom in Wyandotte, and I produced a brand new Gapo comic just for that event. We had a few, because of the print run, we have a few copies left, which I'll be bringing around to Comic-Cons, but it's the first all-new Gapo material in 3 years.
Wow. Now, when you say Comic-Cons, you're not talking trade shows.
No.
You're talking about real big Comic-Cons. I mean, and that's pretty much okay, so you don't have a day job.
No, this is
you
what
actually
I do.
live off your art.
Yes.
Wow. How do you do that?
I have a very supportive wife with a very good job. It's a lot of work. You got to be dedicated. You got to be committed. I spend, and don't just do comics. I do a lot of other stuff. I mean, if I just did comics, especially doing what I do, my style, my comic book style is very cartoony.
I remember you used to do Marvel sketch cards.
Yes.
And
I
that
did
was
that for a
directly
while.
for Marvel.
Yes, that was for Marvel. Yes, I stopped doing that.
Someone sort of credited you for maybe bringing, Spider-Ham was coming back out, and you're one of the first person redid Spider-Ham.
I did,
and
yeah.
Hulk Bunny.
I was probably the first guy to do Spider-Ham in like decades. So, but yeah, I loved it. I love that.
You're
whole
very proud
concept.
of Hulk Bunny. I remember that.
But yeah, so I used to do a lot of sketch cards for Marvel products. I did some for DC. I did a lot of Star Wars for Lucasfilm. But I don't do sketch cards anymore.
Okay.
I do a lot of just commercial work. I do a lot of logo designs now and advertising art. So that's been keeping me busy. And commissions for paintings, canvas, acrylic paintings. And I've been doing, art shows and things like that a lot lately, too. I'll have pieces in the Dirty Show, in February. So that's a lot of fun. It's very different from the comic work and, doing pictures of, Spider-Man. And
now, do you have
stuff.
a partnership with, like, local art gallery? I know you do a lot with one local
I
art
do,
galleries.
yeah. River's Edge Gallery in Wyandotte. One of my best friends is the gallery director there and co-owner, and he's really pushed me to really concentrate on my fine art and do a lot more in that area.
I'm just thinking, because you did fine art with Gapo, with him sitting in a nice chair.
Yeah.
And...
No, well, this is, true fine art. Watercolor. And,
okay.
Yeah. Right. So I've been doing a lot of that stuff lately. So that's fun. That's been very rewarding for me creatively too.
Whenever someone says fine art, I think of Mona Lisa with like a mustache and the eyes are meant to follow you everywhere. I threw some googly eyes on like the old farmer and his wife, and that's fine art.
American Gothic, yeah. You glue those googly eyes on there, and
it's good to go.
Yep.
I mean, I heard Mona Lisa. The only reason Mona Lisa ever got popular was because someone stole it because it wasn't a very popular piece. They stole it, and then it got into all the newspapers, and then it became popular because everyone kept talking about it.
It could be.
I
know. I never heard that. I'll have to look into that. But that is a very valid point.
Yeah. So, would you like us to go and steal all of your art?
That'd be great.
And then you just make a huge fuss about it, and then we'll do something public. We'll put on public display 3 years later.
Just leave it in a park somewhere. Just under a homeless man, like he's using it as a bed. This art was recovered as this homeless man was bedding down on it.
He found the warmth of this clown to be very soothing, and it helped validate his life and just have this real uplifting story, and there just be Gapo all over it.
Oh, jeez. I still have. Do you remember the banner I did? Remember when you made that video with all the panels from the comic strips to the song?
Yes,
Bringing Sexy Back.
Yes.
I was cleaning my studio and I found the banner of Gapo sitting there with his hand down his pants and Bringing Sexy Back. On the.
That video is not on YouTube anymore due to
Oh,
copyright.
No? Because
it might
song.
be private.
Yeah.
I think I privatized it, but yeah, it's not public. Maybe I'll bring it back and put it on a secret YouTube channel that I may or may not have and will not advertise. Every once in a while, that's a good question. Every once in a while, you just get this creative niche. You just get this
want to
itch.
do something.
Yeah, and you're like, you know what? I just have to. As an editor, I see something on TV. It's I just want to see this collided with this. And I don't need to be credited. I don't care. I just want to do it. And I'll throw it out there. And if anyone cares, they care. So I throw it on my quote-unquote secret YouTube channel.
Does everybody know about it?
No. No, I don't tell anyone
if people
that it's
stumble
me.
upon it, then great.
Because
right?
I don't. Yeah, people stumble upon it. I got.
He's doing it. It's art. He's doing it for him.
I mean, I got a few videos on there that are 10,000 views here, 50,000 views there. It's that I can't take any credit for it. How many people have done 10 hours of Groot and Batman going back? I am Groot. I'm Batman. I am Groot. I'm Batman. I mean, I'm not the first person to put that together and make a 10-hour version of that.
Oh my god.
I remember that.
But for itches, I want to know one of your because you've had something like, you know what? I just want to create this. I just want to do this real quick. What's? I know you've had to have a few of those.
I mean, every once in a while I'll do like a silly standalone comic strip. I did one. It's called The Landlord, and I just did it because it was this stupid idea I had in my head. But this girl is in the first panel. You know, she's sitting on her couch reading a book, and there's a knock at the door, and she opens the door, and there's a zombie, and he goes, "Brains!" And she slams the door in his face, knocks again, and she opens the door, and he goes, "Rent?" She gives him a check, and he goes, "Brains?" She slams the door again, and that was the end of it.
That's awesome.
So, Zombie Landlord, that's the name of it, Zombie Landlord. But I just had a stupid idea, and I did it.
Now, do you still teach?
I haven't had a class in a while. I substitute at Macomb Community College, for in the art department there. So I do that every now and again when they call me. Mm-hmm. I've I think last summer I taught some summer classes, and after years of saying it, I think that was going to be the last time I did it.
And these weren't college-age kids. You're doing kids.
The summer camps were. I finally got them to give me middle school kids because they were giving me little kids all the time, and it was like babysitting, and it just it was awful. And the kids would they'd yell and they'd run around.
Were they using crayons?
No, I brought art supplies in. They were using paints and markers and all sorts of cool stuff.
Was it on paper or on themselves?
It was on everything.
Okay. The last artist we had in here, Mark Blur, he just talked about how much he hated crayons in school. That's what
really? See, I didn't mind crayons in
hated
school.
them.
I didn't mind them. I mean, when I was a kid, that was it was an easy medium to get a hold of. I mean, everybody always bought me crayons because they knew I drew. So, I mean, I had crayons all over the place. It's like now I have art supplies kind of stashed all over the place. So, like, if no matter where I am in the house, there's like a thing of pencils and paper somewhere, and I could easily get to it. Yeah. But the kid thing is just, I just don't have the patience anymore. The older I get, I just, the little kids it was babysitting, and then the older kids, they just don't care. You spend a half hour talking to them, telling them this is what you're going to do, this is why you're doing it, I want you to try this, I want you to try this, and then they just put their heads down and start playing on their phones, and it's like, you know what? I mean, I understand that you're here because it's summer and your parents stick you here because they have to work and they need to put you somewhere, but if you could have chosen a different class, why waste my time? I mean, I got paid, obviously, to be there, but it wasn't fun, and it gets to a point where you're like, all right, am I going to just go through the motions just so I can get the paycheck when I could be home being productive and doing something that's fulfilling my life rather than, causing me to want to die early?
I luckily didn't have that experience when I was teaching, but I wasn't teaching kids though. I was teaching college students.
See, that's when I substitute. I'm subbing college classes, and that the kids come in, and kids, they're late teens, early 20s. They're kids to me. I'm an old man, so. But they come in, they sit down, they have all their stuff, they get ready. I mean, usually it's like a figure drawing class or something, and so the model is there, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it's it's fine. It's the way it should be. You still get the kids with the high school attitude. It's like, oh, it's a substitute, I'm going to skip out. It's like, well, yeah, fine, skip out, but you still got to do the assignments that you got to show the teacher when he gets back. Right. So
I used to tell people, hey, you paid to be here.
Exactly, that's
do
the thing. You're
want.
paying, so I don't care. I'm a sub. You want to skip out now? Go. But when the other guy gets back, he's going to ask you where your work is.
You mentioned technology. You mentioned that you also mentioned that you have pencils and papers, all that.
Oh, yeah.
So do you not draw on like an iPad, or do you use Surface Pros any of that?
I don't use any of that. I had a friend give me one of those tablets to try, and I tried it, and if I practice with it, I'm sure I can get the hang of it, but it's just not the same. And I'm pencil and pen on paper. Everything I do is I draw on paper, I ink on paper, When I color, it's usually by hand. I'm painting it, or I'm using Prismacolor markers. If I have to color digitally, I do, but I don't know how to use any of that stuff, so it's not the best. I mean, for what I do with the comic strips, it's good for the comic strips, but if I was to do, if I wanted Marvel caliber colors on my comic, I'd have to hire somebody to do that for me.
Okay.
I can't. Yeah, technology is just it's lost on me.
And do you feel like it hurts, or
Do I feel like it hurts what?
anything?
Hurts me?
Yeah.
Well, I think to a certain extent, I think I'm a little slower with my output because I do everything by hand. So I think that hurts a little bit. But I don't miss deadlines.
You don't feel like you're like when you look at other comics that are obviously more done on a computer. You don't go, well, maybe my art's a little bit behind this. There's just different.
It's my art is my art, and I mean, I have a really good friend, Dan Doherty. He draws on a tablet, and I've watched him do it, and he can control the line weight with the pressure he puts down and on the stylus and everything, and so it's kind of like he's using a brush when he does his line work and all, which it's awesome. I mean, I think it's a fantastic tool because it saves a step. He's able to do an inked piece from scratch and not have to draw it out first and then ink it. He goes, he sketches it out on this tablet and then just inks the lines digitally, and I mean, it saves him a ton of time. I don't have the patience to learn how to use that stuff. I'm just the old saying, you can't teach a dog new tricks. I'm an old dog, man.
Well, if it works, I mean.
Oh yeah, it works. I mean, I think it's not like I think it's bad.
No, I mean, like if your style works.
Oh yeah, well it works
move.
for me. I mean, it's if I had nothing to do, and I had all the money to buy all these fancy gadgets, I might get them and sit around and play with them. Yeah. But I'd rather be producing something, I'd rather make comics or do paintings or to sit down and learn how to use a new tool when I can do it already my way. I'd rather just do it my way.
Man, so okay, we've mentioned a bunch of stuff. So what haven't we talked about yet? Event organizing.
Yes. Well, as you know, in the past, I was the co-promoter of Detroit Fan Fair. And then I started doing the Michigan Comic Book Expo.
Which there are several videos of that on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ToadenK.
And also the, good plug, by the way. Also the Attack at the Yak Wrestling. So I don't have my dates locked in. I'm probably Attack at the Yak's going to happen. I don't know about Michigan Comic Book Expo next year. It just seems like I'm having a hard time getting people to come down to Wyandotte for a comic show. So I've been a little disappointed with the turnout. Unless I could do something different or find a different venue.
Now I know it shocked a lot of people that you had the venue that you got, because I know other people say, hey, I tried to get that venue, I couldn't even touch it.
Yeah, well, I'm me and they're them.
Hey, it's Tony. You gotta.
It's a certain cachet that comes with being me. But Attack at the Yak is, as a matter of fact, I just had a conversation a couple of days ago with somebody about Attack at the Yak. So we'll probably start planning that soon, and I'll sit down and try and lock down a date.
Okay, so it's interesting. Attack of the Yak and the Michigan Comic Expo, Comic Book Expo.
Right.
It combines comic books and wrestling.
Yes. We did. We would do a traditional comic book show with Artist Alley and vendors, and then I would bring in wrestling celebrities, old Hall of Famers. They'd be the guests, and then at night we would do a wrestling show, XICW, Extreme Intense Championship Wrestling, which is the longest running indie promotion in Michigan and some of the best independent professional wrestling in the whole Midwest. They would come and they'd do the show, and I mean, they always blew the doors off the place.
Yeah, I just like walking around and seeing a ring in the middle of the whole show.
Yeah.
You know, everyone, you know, people in cosplay are like, can we go up in the ring? I don't know. Go find Tony and ask him. I know the Michigan Jedi Association, like, we're like curious about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we probably could have arranged something, but...
oh, yeah, they're a stunt show now, too, so that would have been something
the
interesting.
Jedi guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to see about bringing them out next time we do something.
Yeah, I think they were only there looking for a costume contest. Like, you
I-
guys are a
Yeah,
stunt...
this is the thing. We had a lot of people coming the day of asking what time the costume contest was. I don't run costume contests. Nobody ever messaged us, emailed us, or called us and asked about a costume contest. Everybody just assumes that it's a comic show and there's going to be a costume contest. I don't run costume contests. To be honest, I think a lot of the cosplay gets in the way at a Comic-Con. I enjoy it. I think a lot of it is, I mean, some of these people are extremely talented with what they do, but as a artist who sets up regularly in Artist Alley, when you have your wonderful Hawkman costume with your wings that open up, and you stand in front of my table for 15 minutes to take pictures, I don't want that. You're in my way. You're stopping me from making money. You guys got to be more considerate of the people around you. I mean, that goes in general. Everybody's got to be more considerate of the people around them. But, when you're at a con and you have that costume, go to the ends of the aisles. Get out of people's way. Get out of the way of the vendors and the artists, because you're costing us money when you do that.
Even as a camera guy, sometimes I got to be reminded, like, oh, I saw something really cool. Let me grab it real quick. Sometimes it's like, hey, dude, just hurry up.
If I move,
at least I'm not one of those guys, because that's one reason I don't go to motors. One of the other big Comic Cons. I just see everyone there with the camera, and everyone all the camera guys blocking the hallways.
Yeah, it's crazy
because they want one person.
When we did Detroit Fan Fair, we had designated cosplay photo areas. We set up step and repeat banners where they can stand in front of, and they'd have a backdrop, and it was, I mean, I thought, we handled it because we didn't have a lot of space, so I thought that was a great way of doing it, having these photo areas outside of the show floor where people can go and get their pictures taken with them.
You can tell Fanfare was built with publicity and press in mind. We
would go, I mean, we had like sometimes weekly meetings to go over every little thing with Fanfare. We got an email about this. How's this going to affect us? What can we do to make this happen? So we went over every aspect. We had, Dennis, who's a retailer and knows pretty much what the customers want, and has been going to shows for decades. He knew what to expect in almost every situation. He knew what the fans wanted. Gary Reed, he had been putting on shows forever. He had been a publisher and a retailer. I mean, the guy knew every aspect of the comic industry. So, I was the rookie going into that. And we covered our bases. We knew what we were doing. And now it's a little different with the expo, because I'm doing just about most of it by myself.
Right.
But my hope is that I could change things up a little bit, maybe bring it to a different location, so that this way it's more centrally located for people to get to, because it seems people everybody complains about Wyandotte. They say it's too far away. I don't get it myself. I mean, it's a 20-minute drive from Detroit to Wyandotte. I don't see how that's too far away from anything.
And
that's on surface streets.
Right.
So I think if I could find a spot like real close to some what are those things called where you drive your car really fast on the road? Highway, really close to real highway exits.
Well, yeah, maybe when
be
75
fine. And then,
south
and depending
is okay.
depending on the type of show and what we're doing and the space we have, maybe if I get people emailing, was it mcbexpo@gmail.com, if you email and you request a costume contest, maybe I'll honor the request and we'll do one. So, but I have to know that there's going to be a desire for it.
Yeah. See, it feels like no matter where you have a con,
People are never happy.
No. Like if it's in Detroit, I don't want to go to Detroit. You know, even though it's a lot.
Now it's now it's
so
a little
much
different
better.
than from when we did the show in Detroit.
Right.
You know, it's
the past 5 years, so much has changed.
so much has changed.
Even the past 3
I was just
years.
at Kobo Hall for the XICW's Kobo show, and that place it's completely different than what it was when we did Fanfare there. So
Yes.
I mean the whole area is just different now.
Can't drive
so.
my car in there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I'm missing something. We talked about technology. We've talked about.
Rocketing Studios.
Oh, there we go.
Actually, I have a couple of comic publishing things to talk about. First off, Rocketing Studios. We are going to be releasing our long-awaited supernatural anthology called Odd Tales from the Curio Shop. This comic book is going to star Brian O'Halloran from Clerks. He is the quote unquote playing the shop proprietor. He's the lead of the comic story, and so the character is based on him, and so he is going to be very much involved with the release of the book and the Kickstarter, which we should be releasing in January. So the Kickstarter is pretty much going to be a pre-order for the book, and you'll have opportunity to get all sorts of exclusives like prints and signed book plates, sketch copies of the book, and autographs from Brian. So look for that in January. I'll be promoting the hell out of that once we start that. My other quote-unquote comic adventure.
I thought he wasn't even supposed to be there.
Oh, he's always supposed to be there. He just knows how to say his lines right.
But Brian O'Halloran, it was Dante from Clerks. So you got it. There's got to be a Clerks Easter egg everywhere you look.
I'm not putting a Clerks Easter egg in the book
Okay.
purposely because the not even supposed to be here. Everybody's always asking him to say it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just
He's so amazing. He's like
he's fantastic.
He's one of the few actors like, oh no, I was totally that guy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother him. I've talked to him about it, and he's like, it doesn't bother him. He's cool with it.
It
bothers me.
Something.
It bothers me. I hate having to always have to rehash that stuff. So I don't want to put any of that stuff in the story.
Well, I'm
I
still
want it to
waiting
be
for a
completely
certain
standalone.
Aladdin movie to come out so I could bother you
that
about it.
Well, hopefully that'll be coming out next year. I'm wrapped on that movie. So I think that it got really cold really fast, and I know they had just built a big giant outdoor set. So I don't know how much filming they got done, but I know it's almost complete.
Yeah.
So, and I'm filming another movie now.
What was that name? Aladdin
3477.
Yeah, I know they've been chipping away on that for a long time.
It's been a lot of work. I mean, you once you see the sets in this movie, you'll know why it took so long. I mean, these guys, they have one crew and one sound stage, and so these guys would build the stage, and they'd film, and then they'd have to take it down and build the next one. So it's not like they have crews and sound stages and able to run back and forth. These guys did everything themselves. So it's been a lot of work, and I give Matt Bush a lot of credit for everything that he's put into this. I think if it comes out, if half of the passion that he's had for this project comes out on screen, we're gonna have something really cool.
Okay. I'm sorry. No, I totally interrupted your Kickstarter. So it's for an anthology book, and it's by Rocket Inc.
Rocket Inc. Studios. Yes.
Okay. So is that a new publishing company you're
That's
doing?
well, it's not new. We've been around a while.
Okay.
We've done Portraits of Poe, graphic novel.
I do have that. I was looking for one of the books I have for me. I got that somewhere around here.
And we did. We licensed Matt Bush's property, Hollywood is Dead, and we did a series of trading cards on that. And this project right now, Odd Tales from the Curio Shop, has been we brought on quite a few artists to work on this, but with everybody's workloads, things get pushed back. But we should have all the art finished by the end of the year, and that's why we'll do the Kickstarter in January, because I want to make sure I have the book ready to go into production before we launch the Kickstarter.
How many Kickstarters have you had?
How many have I done?
Yeah, have you?
This is going to be my
done?
first one.
Okay, I thought you did a Groucho. Oh, not Groucho.
Gapo.
Gapo.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that I remember you filmed that, right?
Yeah, and I was like, hey, when do you want to do that?
Yeah,
I thought I did see something on that.
Because the animation kind of fell apart on that.
Oh,
so,
okay. All right,
yeah.
all right. That conversation never happened.
But another project that I'm working on is Top Rope Comics, and I'm doing this with Dom Riggio, John Marroquin, and Chris Sanchez, and it's going to be a series of graphic novels based on a bunch of wrestlers. So each book will be a separate wrestler's story, but it's not about wrestling. None of the books will involve wrestling.
Okay.
It'll involve their character. And the first book coming up right now is going to be the Mysterious Movado, and he is an Aztec warrior in this comic, and he comes to present-day Detroit to fight a demon god. And that's actually right now in production with two artist friends of mine, Bill Mouse and Mikey Babinski. Bill Mouse did he's worked on Zen, the Intergalactic Warrior, I believe it's called. Mikey Babinski's been an inker for Marvel for the longest time.
It sounds like one of those like wrestling back in the 80s storyline.
Yeah. Well, except that, like I said, there's no wrestling in the book. It's we're
Okay.
treating the characters as if they were superheroes, or
Which
it's
they
a
kind of
comic-
were back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they were
during
yeah,
the
they were
golden
like,
age
right,
of WWF.
right.
There were, they're
So-
all larger than life characters,
Right.
Which really led them to all the cartoon specials,
Right.
And I just recently seen the WWE Scooby Doo, movie.
Oh wow, yeah.
Man,
But yeah, we'll have.
I
we'll have,
blinked and there's like 50 new Scooby Doo movies out.
it all of a sudden got popular again. So
Right.
yeah. So but yeah, we'll be having some announcements on different wrestlers we'll be working with. We have right now 4 books in the works. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
Wow.
All right. So we have a quick segment called Questions from a Hat. If people want to contribute questions, and if I do read the question, you will get a shout out. So when you submit questions, make sure you put down your Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or whatever you want me to shout out. Yeah, as long as it's you and not, hey, or shout out Charles Trippy. As long as it's not one of those things.
Now it's gonna suck if Charles Trippy submits a question for the questions from the hat.
I don't know what that question was supposed to be. It just said no Wikipedia question, so I just threw it away.
Oh,
I don't know where that came from. Okay, so you're a cook and everything.
Okay.
If you could be any food, what would it be?
Pizza.
ooh, good one.
I'd be pizza. It's so versatile.
Yeah.
Everybody's answered pizza for questions similar to that from the hat.
Yeah, I'm throwing away that question too. I'm going to pick another question.
Okay.
Man, I already answered that.
And it felt like it felt like too much like one of those icebreakers when you meet up like
in
one of
a
those
party where you're a bunch of strangers. We're gonna ask the questions on these little cards.
first day of class.
Right.
They would, they would like tell us something they haven't told anyone else. Like anyone's gonna come out like, yeah.
The bodies are buried behind my garage.
I always say, I tend to make up my answers for really stupid party questions, and I could jump 50 feet in the air if you want me to.
On that one, at school somebody did say answer a question that name something you haven't told anybody, and I said something about bodies being hidden somewhere, and my teacher just stopped.
Okay, so you have a very full schedule. How do you fill the empty gaps in your schedule? I'm sure you probably create empty gaps.
You know what? I like to unwind with. I'm so old. With some Candy Crush.
It's like the answer that my mom gives.
See, that's my kind of like veg out thing. Is I'll sit and I'll play a little Candy Crush. So, yeah. That's how I fill my little free time. Either that or I love watching horror movies. Anything horror, really. But so I have a giant horror film collection, and I just subscribe to Shudder and some other horror channel, and so I watch whenever. I usually if when I'm drawing up anything, I'll sit in front of the television with I have a special little drawing table that I could put in front of the TV.
If you're listening to us, you gotta see the video. The pantomimes are amazing.
So I put the thing in front of me, and I'll sit and I'll watch horror movies and draw. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. I can't help it. So I sit and I draw in front of the TV, and I watch horror films during the day. So that's.
Are you a Trauma fan?
Yeah. Not as much now as I was when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like my horror to be real serious.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it dark and grisly and.
Does Saw movies count as horror?
Sure they do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, where can people find you? You got like 3 things you need to shout out, I'm sure.
You can find me at Facebook, The Art of Tony Miello. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Also on Facebook, Gapo the Clown. If you're interested in catering, you can go to Big Tony's Italian Sandwiches.
I just need a big meatball sandwich now.
I make. Look, I'm humble about most things, but I'm really arrogant when it comes to my meatballs, and I make the best meatballs in the state of Michigan.
Okay, I know I'm dragging this out, but we're talking one day, and you just came up with this funniest sketch, a superhero that just pulls out meatballs out of his pocket.
Oh gosh, I remember that was in Wonderworld. We talked about that, didn't we?
Maybe, but we also talked about it at a street fair.
Yes.
2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now.
He saved people with meatballs.
Yeah.
He just showed up and he just handed the meatballs and left. Right? Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
This woman gets her purse snatched, and the superhero shows up, and she's like, my purse, he stole my purse. Sorry, ma'am. And he reaches into his pocket, and he hands her meatballs. And they're just dripping in sauce, and he gives them to her, and he's like, my work here is done, citizen. And he takes off. Just dopey. I was probably drinking heavily.
Oh, your kitten's up in the tree. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, have some
meatballs.
Oh, I can lure kittens down from here. Oh, I guess you can do that. Smart kid. All right. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, street fair tends to be a just an inebriated blur by the end of it.
Okay, so Facebook for Gapo, Facebook for catering. Catering was
Big Tony's Italian Sandwiches.
Yep, and
The Art of Tony Miello on Facebook. You find all my artwork there. You can get in touch with me if you want me to appear at a con or if you want to commission me for work. That's the place to go.
And you travel all around, everywhere for cons.
I go everywhere. Yeah, I was just, as a matter of fact, today I was just looking at my 2018 schedule, and I will be down south a lot so far. I got to see what else gets booked, but I'm gonna be in Kentucky a few times, I think, this year. So yeah, I'm hitting the road.
And of course, we got William from
allaboutwilliam.com.
I'm Scotty O'Malley, better known as Toaden from Toaden.com. We'll be at Taylor Comic-Con, which Tony here would say is not a real Comic-Con. It's more of a small trade show. But hey, we got a lot of cool vendors out there, and I believe we're doing a presentation there. If you want to see that, you could go to yourcomiccon.com or MediaLareSandwich.com to see where else we will be, and check out all our previous episodes, of course. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and may the algorithms be in your favor.
Peace.